If you're in the market for a travel backpack, you've probably noticed there's a crazy number of options. You may have also noticed most travel backpacks aren't cheap. And the last thing you want to do is waste your hard-earned money on a piece of crap. As a guy who's been one bag traveling for over 10 years now and tested and reviewed a lot of travel backpacks on this channel, today I want to share with you 10 things to look out for in a travel backpack. The positive features that you'll never regret investing in, and the negative ones you want to avoid, ranging from minor annoyances to things that will make your entire purchase feel like a waste, like being carry-on sized. Here's the thing, carry-on sized is a marketing term. There's no universal standard, and so companies slap that phrase or phrases like airline compliant or fits most airlines on bags, and those same bags don't fit into the sizer. The Osprey Daylight 35 liter is a perfect example. It's a great bag. Osprey's warranty is legendary. The materials are solid, but based on the sizing, our bag sizing tool puts it at 2% airline compliance worldwide. 2. Nobody is telling you that on the product page. Before you buy any travel backpack, I strongly recommend to run the actual external dimensions through willmybagfit.com. We built that tool specifically for this purpose, and it covers 170 plus airlines worldwide. In less than 30 seconds, you'll know exactly where you stand. That brings us to weight. Many international carriers cap carry-on weight at 7 to 10 kilograms, which is 15 to 22 pounds total. If your empty bag weighs 4 or 5 pounds, you've burned through a significant amount of the allowance before you've packed a single thing. Now, early in this category, bags got more and more features, which led to a lot of heavy bags. So you gotta find a sweet spot between features and materials and how much that bag weighs. Take a bag like the TomTalk Navigator Lightweight, for example. That bag is 2.36 pounds, 40 liters, fits 78% of airlines worldwide, and costs just $95. The warranty's only a year, but at the price, it's the best value bag in this category. If you want something a little more premium, the Firo Levo is a great lightweight option that looks the part and it checks most of the right boxes. There's a ton of great lightweight bags out there. Just do yourself a favor and consider the weight of the bag. It's just one of those things that you should not overlook. Next, match the type of bag to the type of trip you're going on. I see this all the time. Someone buys a trail-rated hiking backpack because it looks rugged and it's got great reviews, but then they take it through 3 international airports and they spend the whole trip fighting a top-loading main compartment. Hiking bags are built for trails. They load from the top, they're shaped for forward lean, and there's a lot of design elements here that work for that use case. But when you use them on a plane, not all those features work the way you'd want them to. Things like external attachment points dangling everywhere, snagging on the overhead bin, and good luck getting your laptop out without having to unpack half of the bag. Travel backpacks, on the other hand, are built for airports. Clamshell opening so you can pack it like a suitcase. Laptop access without having to dig. Also, these backpacks generally tend to stand up on their own, which sounds minor, but is very convenient when your hands are full and you need to just set it down. So let's talk about organization a bit. You've all seen these bags. 22 pockets, a sweet dedicated slot for your pen, built-in admin panels with little elastic loops. Which of these things are you actually gonna use? Sure, these bags look impressive in a TikTok, but all that extra structure, all that extra material eats into your packing space and adds weight. A very low stakes example of this is the Matador Globerider 35. I think this is an amazing bag, but for me personally, it just had too many pockets that I wasn't gonna use. Arguably my favorite bag of all time, the Air Travel Pack 3, I used exactly 0 of the pockets in this front admin panel area. You gotta find what works for you. Some people love the way packed bags are organized with this bifold design, and others absolutely hate that. Some people feel like they need 2 water bottle pockets. Some people want 1. Some of you are fine with internal water bottle pockets, and I think that is crazy. But these things are subjective. What's a little less subjective is basing the entire design of a bag around certain organization features. For example, this Nomadic. You have to unzip the expansion zipper to be able to access the clamshell packing feature, which is just not a great design in my opinion. Some bags that I think just nail organization. The Firo Levo, based on what I mentioned earlier, I actually like the design of the new Air Travel Pack. Osprey 26+6, Able Carry Max EDC, Evergoods Civic Travel Bag, all really, really good organization. Now this next one is sneaky, load distribution. Bags that sag away from your back, sit too low on your hips, or have no internal frame can get really uncomfortable because they put all of that weight straight onto your shoulders. And the bad thing is you won't really notice it until you've had the bag on for a little while. What you're ideally looking for is a bag with load lifters on the shoulder straps, a structured back panel, and for those of you who prefer it, a hip belt that actually transfers weight. Also, bags with a full internal frame sheet make a real difference here. In my experience, the Tortuga Travel Backpack Pro 40 liter is a great example of load distribution and comfort done right. I took it through the UK and it might be the most comfortable bag I've ever worn. The back panel is cushioned and ventilated. The straps are thick with load lifters and a removable hip belt. It is a 10 out of 10 in terms of comfort. The Matador Globe Rider is also incredible in the comfort department. Hey, if you've gotten value out of this video so far, please hit that like button. And if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe because there is way more where this came from. If you travel with a laptop, where the laptop lives and how it's stored in a backpack is super important. Imagine holding a 5-pound weight, okay? First, you're gonna hold it up against your chest, and then you're gonna hold it straight out. Even if it's only 5 pounds, if you're holding it straight out, your arms are gonna get tired eventually. So with laptop placement, putting the heavy laptop closer to your body is way easier on your back and your shoulders than placing it towards the front of the bag. Look for a laptop sleeve that sits flush against the back panel and is suspended, meaning it doesn't touch the bottom of the bag. That way, if the bag hits the floor, the laptop is hanging above the impact point and not sitting right on it. Bags with great laptop placement and protection, the Firo Levo, the Air, the GoRuck GR2 has what they call a bomb-proof laptop compartment, and the Manal Carry-On 3.0 has amazing laptop protection. Okay, so picture this. You're 2 days into a 2-week trip. A strap starts ripping off the bag or your zipper stops catching. Most people don't think about warranty until that moment, and by then, it's too late. They find out that the warranty covers almost nothing or nothing at all. Last year, I had a small issue with my packed Aero travel backpack my first day using it. I shot them an email and I had a replacement shipped the same day. No questions, no receipts, no hassle. If you're spending $100 to $300+ on a bag, it should come with a lifetime warranty. Bags below that price range often come with maybe a 1-year warranty or possibly none. Getting a warranty is just good for your peace of mind. And in my opinion, you should expect a warranty with lifetime coverage on functional failures like zippers, handles, straps, the shell. Almost all of the bags we recommend here come with lifetime warranties. Something else to watch out for is handles. What are the handles made of and how do they feel when you grab them? Look for a handle that's padded or at minimum has a wide, sturdy grip. You want the stitching to be strong. It also matters just how many handles the bag has. If your bag only has one handle on top, you're repositioning the entire bag to get a grip on it when you need to move fast or grab it out of the overhead bin. The best bags have grab handles on the top, at least one on the side and the bottom. No matter how it's stuffed into the bin, you've got a way to get it out cleanly. All right, real quick on this one, but I see it a lot. Gimmicky features, built-in vacuum compression that requires a special pump you'll never travel with, heavy integrated locks on a bag, MOLLE webbing on a bag that's never going anywhere near anything tactical, external attachment points for gear nobody actually clips on. The Airback Go is a great example of this. It's got this built-in vacuum compression system to pack 50% more and an odor-free compartment for dirty clothes. It sounds really useful on a product page. It's very demonstrable on TikTok, but it's just a lot of added complexity and weight baked into the bag itself. A packing cube compresses your clothes and you can have a dedicated laundry cube. You don't need the bag doing all that for you. Even the GoRuck GR2, which is a fantastic bag, has all these MOLLE panels that most travelers will never use. For most, it's probably just an aesthetic thing. The best bags in this category are winning by subtracting, not adding. If a feature makes you ask, when would I actually use that? The answer is usually never, and you're paying for it anyways. So even if you avoid every single one of these failures, there's another thing that might still drive you crazy, and it has mostly nothing to do with the bag itself. It's about how it packs and how you pack it. So check out this video where we do a full deep dive on exactly how I would pack one of these bags for a real trip to maximize functionality and comfort. Thanks so much for watching. Happy travels.